Good morning. I'm Sue. Welcome to Blue Heron Hill, and today we are planting carrots. Not actually out in the ground. I'm going to try a new method. Now, I have tried all sorts of methods for germinating carrots. I find it extremely difficult to get good rates of germination. I've done a sandy soil. I've done cornstarch, kind of a tape that you put down. I've done a broadcasting method. I've done the board method, where you put a board over it and keep it dry until they germinate, and then you take it off. I've had moderate success with all of these, but I want a method where I have more success, where I'm not then filling in along my rows with more seed and more seed. Now each seed packet comes, like this one in particular, comes with, what did it say? Like 500 seeds in here. That's a lot of seeds. I'm not growing 500 carrots this year, but I do like a variety. And here is my my choice for, not for this entire year. There's more I'm going to be putting in, but for now, I love this Kyoto Red. It's a very fun color. It's a very dark orange. That's a very nice one. Littlefinger is one of my favorite. Great fresh eating carrot. They are only about the size of your finger and probably about 4, 5, 6 at the most inches long. Cosmic Purple, you gotta have purple. I am all about the color variety in my garden. This Danvers 126, there is a long version. This is the half long. Let's see, I think they're about 7 inches long. Anything more than that, my garden can't handle. I don't have nice fluffy soil down any deeper than that. So I go with these, and they give me a very nice carrot. And then, of course, this is Nantes, and this is, oh, no, this one, it says 800 seeds. Ooh, I can, most times I waste a lot of the seeds because they don't germinate. Anyway, this is a very good one. Okay, this new method that I'm going to be doing relies on the initial procedure relies on a method called stratification, where you put the seeds in a state of dormancy, i.e. freezing temperature, to trick them into thinking that, oh yeah, when they get warmed up, it's time to sprout. And they will be on the damp side, so they will then be ready to germinate. So what you do is you start off with a paper plate and some seed starting mix. You don't need potting soil. This is just a substrate to help the seed germinate. It doesn't need any nutrition at all from the soil. It just needs to germinate. That little seed has everything that it needs to start off life. So I'm going to put a layer of this down. It's kind of fluffy, and I'm going to pat it down just a wee bit. Let's see, I think I'll start with my Danvers. As you can see, the seeds are small. They're not the smallest seed, but when you're trying to put them in your garden, they seem to disappear down the cracks and the crevices of your soil. So sprinkle them over. It doesn't matter how, when you sprinkle them over, it doesn't matter how close together they are or anything. So a little press down here, just so the seed has contact with the soil. Then comes a paper bag, and these are going to be put inside the paper bag, and I am going to label this since I'm doing many different varieties. I don't want to mix them up. There we go. I'm going to do this to all these varieties. I just wanted to show you that little fingers are a pelleted seed. So I've had better luck with pelleted seeds. They're a little bit more expensive, and you can drop them and place them exactly in your row. But I'm going to try some of these pelleted seeds in this method also. I think Kyoto Red is also a pelleted seed. I kind of feel it down there at the bottom. Yes, they are pelleted also. And I will, in this experimentation, I will try this. And then these two pelleted ones, I am also going to try and put those right in the ground in a row in my garden today and see how the results compare. Germination for carrots often takes about 10 days to 2 weeks, even longer with some of them. 10 days is on the early side. So it's not for those that are impatient trying to grow carrots. So I'm going to get these other ones done, and then to look just like this. And then these go in the freezer. And they're going to trick these seeds into thinking they are going into some kind of a dormant state. And then after about, I think I'm going to wait for 2 days and then pull them back out. And then we're on to the next step. Here we are out in the garden, and we are going to be planting these 2 rows of carrots. And these are the pelleted varieties here. I'm going to do the Kyoto Reds down here, and then the little fingers through here. Now, I just use one of these for these driveway stakes, or just to indent my soil a little bit. Just like that. And there's my pellets, my pelleted carrot seeds. And very easily to see them and where they go. Now these are essentially 1 seed in each pellet, and then when they come in contact with moisture in the soil, or when you're watering them, they will dissolve and provide moisture for the carrot to start germinating. I'm starting in the house, as I showed you, and stratifying those seeds. And this is the control. And you're going to see if that method works any better for me. Lightly covering up these pelleted seeds. And firmly pressing down the soil, so the seed comes in good contact with the soil. 2 rows planted. They are my control group. I made some markers so I know for sure what I planted in these 2 rows. Kyoto Red and Littlefinger. So, gonna water these in and then put a little board on top. This is actually siding, but it works in the same fashion. We will stay tuned and see the next portion, what we do after those seeds come out of the freezer, out of their stratification time, and to the next step. So wait just a minute and I'll be back. Okay, it's been 2 days in the freezer and I've taken them out probably a couple hours ago just to kind of defrost. I just took this out of its bag. This is the Nantes. There are a few of the seeds here just sitting on top. They probably need just a slight, they are slightly damp, but I'm going to give them just a sprinkle of or a misting of additional moisture. There's this one over here. You can see there's a little moisture in the plastic bag. I'm going to let them set here. It's down in my grow room, a little warm down here, so gives them a little bit of warmth that they may need. I have not put them on a seed mat. These are the Kyoto Reds, and these were the ones that were pelleted. Seems to me that some of the pellets are splitting. So that's a good sign. It's taking up moisture and getting ready to germinate. So I'm going to come back, check on these daily like I do all my other plants down here in the seed room, and see how quickly I get germination. And of course, we'll revisit those that are outside and see how those are doing. Here we are. It has been actually 8 days or 9 days maybe. But I did check these at 1 week and they had sprouted. Now, reading all accounts, I probably shouldn't have left them go this long. I should have planted them out the day that they were just sprouting without green on them. But very carefully, I'm going to put them out in the garden, little seedling at a time, or as best I can, spaced out. And this is a method now that I think I am going to use, because I've never had carrots sprout this quickly. Here are these. These are the cosmic purple in here. The other ones are the Nantes. Very well. They've done just about the same. Now I did do a tray here of the pelleted ones, and you can see I just have 1 sprout here, and the rest are all splitting. They're trying to germinate. I think that's because the pellet creates a coat on it that is super hard and needs a lot of moisture. But you can tell, if you look very closely, like here, it's a little bit of a purplish sprout here. There's a number of them. Here's another one right here. There's another one down in here. But this is a green one. He's really shot up his first leaves here. But I have another one that's over here. Here's one that's coming up. I don't know, it's going to be very difficult to see, but you can see one right there. And one right next to it over here. So these are working out well. I think the pelleted ones are meant to definitely be planted outside in a moist condition. And I'm going to take you out now, and we are going to take these outside to plant, and I'm going to take the boards off the other ones and see where we are with those. All right, here we are out in the carrot bed, and I have the board method going on, and this has been, you know, just a little over a week. I've never really had germination before this point in time. So I'm gonna pull off my boards. All right, I took off all of my boards, and I don't see any germination at all here, at least not yet. This may be one right here. I am not sure, but I don't really see anything that points to them germinating quite yet. The way that I think might be best to plant these little seedlings, now that they're seedlings almost, is I'm just going to take one of my markers and just carefully pick it up and then place it down in my row. And if I get a couple, that's fine, like this. And maybe I can just spread them out ever so carefully. And then tap them in there. A little tedious pulling them out like this. Now, if we had just looked for the tiny little initial germination where the root pushes out of the seed, and all you're having is just that white root area, then I think that would be easier just to sprinkle those in there. The root will dive down deep and establish themselves. Instead, I waited probably a little bit too long, and it's pushed up its first leaves. And you have to be a little more careful in planting these. But I am overall fairly impressed that it only took about a week for these to germinate. So I'm hoping this new method works out. What I did find out, what I realized is when you plant them on the paper plate and the paper plate is wet, the root itself will attach to this paper plate. I hope I didn't do too much damage to these potential carrots. They are a root vegetable. Root vegetables do not like to be transplanted because it's the root that's important in the growth of this particular vegetable. So I'm going to give these all a nice light watering, nothing too heavy, just a light mist, and I'll keep that up for a few days, and hopefully they'll grab hold. Those roots will push down into the soil, and more leaves, their first true leaves will come up, and they will be off to the races. So I am not totally finished planting carrots yet. I'm going to replant. I'm going to resprout with the paper plate method, and I'm going to catch it at just the right time before, right when they send down that root. And I will then be able to plant them. You can plant them in rows. You can broadcast plant them with a little bit of sprinkle of soil on top. You don't have to be too careful about which way the root is going, because nature tells that root which way to go. It's called geotropism, and that root will always grow down, and no matter where you plant it. So more carrots are in my future. So I will make another video and update you on all of this. So thanks for following me on this video. Give me a thumbs up, that helps. Comment down below, let me know how you plant your carrots. Do you have good success? What method do you use? So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.